is left pleading for the child's return. We'll have their exclusive story.
Also, a shootout at a Miami supermarket kills 2 people.
A sightseeing tour of the Grand Canyon turns deadly.
Millions of people watch an exorcism on national television. Now, many are asking, is it fact or fiction? We'll have a Channel 7 inside report.
And the story of a 14-year-old boy who opens fire on his principal.
These stories and a whole lot more right here, coming up first at 10 on Channel 7 News.
Honda has been named #1 in import owner loyalty for the 14th year in a row, which means year after year, more people buy Honda after Honda. Why? Because you get what you pay for.
The Accord Lease Program. See your nearest Honda dealer for details.
On the next Live, it's the reigning queen of pop and the king of talk.
What do you want to know?
She talks about Michael.
First, I beg him not to wear sunglasses.
She talks about Sean.
He played a very important role in my life.
And she talks about Regis.
Let's not get carried away.
Madonna speaks her mind in an exclusive interview.
He's wild. Madonna's wild.
It's Madonna, uncovered on the next Live.
Live, Regis and Kathy Lee, tomorrow at 9 on WSVN 7. WSVN 7 invites you to take great strides in the fight to cure cystic fibrosis. The 3rd annual Great Strides 10K Walk takes place Saturday, May 18th in Broward and Dade counties. Volunteer to walk the mall at Sawgrass Mills or come to South Point Park in Miami Beach. It's time to put on your walking shoes. Join us and the rest of the country and take great strides for a great cause.
Live from Channel 7, South Florida's news station. Sally Fitz, Rick Sanchez, meteorologist Bob Silver, and sports with Jim Barry. This is Channel 7 News at 10.
A triple shooting at a supermarket, and that's just one violent outburst in a night of gunfire all over South Florida. Hello again, everybody. It's been one of those nights when the moment one of our news crews got to the scene, we heard about another incident.
We begin with the latest shooting in Opelika. It started in a high-speed chase and ended with a child caught in the crossfire. You're going to be looking at live pictures from the scene, a Burger King in Opelika. The child was in a car at the Burger King when the stray bullet grazed his head. We don't know how the chase started, but police say it involved them and 3 suspects in a Ford Bronco. Bullets were flying everywhere as the cars sped through Opelika. The child was hit by a stray bullet. No one knows who fired it. Police say a suspect may have been hit, but he's still missing. The chase ended at State Road 9 and Northwest 22nd Avenue. 3 suspects are now under arrest. We don't know the child's age, but police say he is going to be okay. He's at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Another scene, Carroll City. A 16-year-old Norland High School student is in critical condition tonight, shot near the school. Police say Bud Williams was walking along Northwest 12th Avenue when a red pickup truck pulled up. Somebody in the truck opened fire, hitting the teenager. Police found the truck 3 blocks away. Detectives are questioning an 18-year-old suspect, but so far he hasn't been charged with anything.
And another one, a multiple shooting inside a Miami food market. A gunman stalks his ex-wife into the market, opens fire, then turns the gun on himself. Channel 7's Brooke Bradley has this story.
Alberto Market is known as a quiet, friendly corner store. From now on, it will also be known as the scene of a grisly murder-suicide.
At this point, this is a murder-suicide with an innocent bystander shot. The victim and the offender were recently divorced.
The body of a woman in her 40s is sprawled on the floor of the market. Police say her ex-husband, apparently distraught over their recent divorce, followed her into the store, firing several shots, killing her instantly. He then turned the gun on himself. A store customer was also hit by a stray bullet. He survived. Police say the gunman drove up to Alberto's in this black Toyota, stalking his ex-wife who had just done some shopping at the store. Police say when she came out of the store, he grabbed at his ex-wife from his car, yanking on her handbag. Witnesses say seconds later, she started running back into the store, yelling for the owner, screaming, "Alberto, Alberto." This man heard at least 3 shots. This girl, running to the store for sugar for her mother, couldn't believe the scene that greeted her.
I saw when they took out there was two victims, you know, they came out. One was shot here, and then there was another one with a shot in his back.
Police have no idea what drove this man to kill his ex-wife and then take his own life. The store is closed for now. The case is not. In Miami, Brooke Bradley, Channel 7 News.
Now, right now, we are not going to be able to tell you the names of the victims because their families simply have not been notified yet. The customer who was shot is reported in stable condition. He is at Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Police are out right now looking for a mother who abandoned her children in a Burger King a month ago. Police say last night she came back for one of those children, violating a court order to take her away. Tonight, the child's father speaks exclusively with Channel 7's John Turchin, pleading for his little girl's return.
It's injuring me, but more, it's injuring the baby, and Shirley's really just self-destructing her life.
Outwardly, Jeff McDonald shows little emotion, but inside he concedes he's suffering, worried that he may never see his baby girl again. 3-month-old Keisha Marie is gone, disappeared. Her mother, Shirley Ford, grabbing her out of their home late Sunday, Mother's Day, after the couple had an argument.
My actions did not provoke this situation, but now I'm the one that has to prove that I'm competent to take care of them, which seems like an injustice in itself.
This is like instant replay to McDonald. His live-in girlfriend and the children's mother, Ford, abandoned her 2 infants, Keisha and 1.5-year-old Christina, at a Burger King restaurant last month, leaving a note telling police she couldn't care for them any longer. It was signed, Confused. At an emergency hearing, a Broward judge awarded McDonald custody of his 2 daughters, ordering Ford to stay away, not to get near her 2 daughters unless McDonald was there. He also advised Ford to get psychiatric help. She apparently didn't heed either of his warnings.
They're being pulled one way or the other between the mother and the father. And she's using them as a pawn when she gets angry with her boyfriend, Mr. Jeffrey McDonald. And so our concern right now is the safety of the children and the welfare of the children.
Children who so desperately need to be together.
Now, I'm more concerned about her well-being than the infant's, because I believe the infant will be cared for. She's not that type of person. She would hurt herself before she would hurt the baby.
Still, he wonders if he'll ever see his baby again. In Oakland Park, John Turchin, Channel 7 News.
Now, when detectives catch up with Ford, she's going to be charged with interfering with child custody. That's a 3rd-degree felony.
This is a split decision we are about to tell you about. Car crashes in front of you on the highway. It explodes. Do you watch and drive on, or do you risk your life and try to help a stranger? Well, that's what happened today on Interstate 595. And in that split second, 3 men decided to risk their lives and help a stranger. For some reason, a car stopped in the middle of a highway. An 18-wheeler plowed into it. The car burst into flames. 78-year-old Rosabelle Foster was trapped inside. Most people just kept on driving. 3 men did not.
In there.
So how'd you get around?
Basically, what was holding was a steering wheel. And I don't know, I guess just in that moment it hit me. I had tilt steering. And I hit the lever and the steering wheel came up and we pulled her out. I looked at her and she was unconscious and I couldn't leave her in there. Because if she was alive, I wouldn't want to be the one to let her burn. So I would do it again.
The rescuers got out just as the car exploded, saving their own lives, perhaps. They gave her CPR. Despite all of that, she was not able to pull through, unfortunately. The man driving the gas truck who hit her from behind, we should tell you, suffered only minor injuries. That was the 2nd deadly crash in Broward in just 3 days. And tonight, state troopers are out in full force to try to make sure it doesn't happen again. Friday, you may recall, a Canadian tourist was killed on a crash on I-95 in Fort Lauderdale, a stretch that's just opened from construction. So new, troopers say drivers are using it like a speedway. They say as long as that goes on, the crackdown on speeders will also go on.
One chapter is closed tonight in the poison Tylenol scare that started almost 10 years ago. Back then, 7 people were killed. It was in 1982 when they took extra-strength Tylenol laced with cyanide. Their families sued Tylenol for millions. Well, today, they settled out of court. No one's talking about the terms of the settlement. The Tylenol killer has never been found. But police speculate a former employee of the drug maker Johnson & Johnson was behind the tamperings. A man named James Lewis is serving time for trying to extort money from the company, but has never been tried for the deaths. Tonight, a middle school student in Texas is accused of trying to gun down his assistant principal. The woman had just disciplined the student for bringing matches to school. The kid left, and he came back with a gun. The assistant principal slammed the door shut just as the student fired 2 shots at her. No one was hurt. Police say the student then held a teacher hostage for an hour before giving up.
An aerial tour of the Grand Canyon came to a deadly end today. A single-engine plane carrying 7 people crashed this afternoon in Grand Canyon National Park. Everybody on board was killed. It's a familiar story. The crash started at a forest fire in the park. Now, the plane went down just minutes after it took off, but so far, no one knows why. When that now famous Los Angeles cop meeting we've been telling you about tape came out, we showed you another alleged case of police brutality, also caught on camera, also in Los Angeles.
Put your hands on your head. What? I don't know if you got a knife, you knife. Put your hands on your head. Turn around. Nothing, man, nothing.
Tonight, the 2 police officers charged with brutality in what you just saw are off the hook. They went on trial for roughing up black activist Don Jackson during a routine traffic stop and then lying about it on their police reports. The jury deadlocked, and today the judge dismissed the case.
The embattled police chief of Los Angeles will keep his job. A judge today permanently reinstated Daryl Gates. The police commission suspended him after that videotaped beating of a motorist came out. Under an agreement hammered out between Gates and the city council, Gates was allowed to return to work. As for the man beaten in the tape that got Gates in trouble, Rodney King still isn't talking to the media, but today his aunt spoke for him. Angela King says her nephew is still having trouble walking, talking, even eating. But she read a thank you letter written by Rodney King.
He says, I find it difficult searching for the right words to express my sincere gratitude to the public for their support system given to my family and I during this crisis. And a very special thanks to the students who sent beautiful drawings and paintings of smiling faces.
Rodney King also says he wants to work with homeless children and elementary school students when he's feeling better.
This was an unspeakable crime that shocked South Florida. The daughter of a Metro-Dade police officer was shot in the head, and her body was cut up into pieces and then scattered across the field. Well, today the man that was charged with that crime is finally heading to trial. His name is Charles Commander.
Charlie, why
He is facing first-degree murder charges. Police say he killed Julie Murphy, mutilated her body, and then dumped her across a field. Today, a court spokesperson said that Commander was able to speak. Now, he talked exclusively to Channel 7 about his chances of acquittal.
Innocent of the charges?
There's some possibility of that.
Think you have a good defense in this case?
My defense is good.
Commander's attorneys tried unsuccessfully today to get the trial moved to a different city. Tomorrow, high noon, that's when we may learn all the sordid details of what really happened that night at the Kennedy Mansion. The night William Kennedy Smith is charged with raping a woman. Machines were busy today cranking out copies of the 200-page Palm Beach police report. The report includes accounts from Senator Edward Kennedy and others about what really happened that Easter weekend, or everyone else's version. Lawyers for the Kennedys say releasing the report could hurt Smith's chances of getting a fair trial. But prosecutors say it is public information under the law, so it has to become public. So for the next few hours, it'll be a battle of the lawyers to try and withhold the information. Again, the deadline, noon tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll also see the arrival of Queen Elizabeth in the United States. She flies into Washington tomorrow, And they've been polishing up the British embassy there for days now, washing the windows, cleaning every surface to put on the best possible show. From Washington, the Queen flies to Miami. That is Friday, of course, and we will be there every step of the way.
Coming up first at 10 on Channel 7 News, a warning tonight. If you like shark, it's the eating kind we're talking about.
Actor Michael Landon is making medical history in his battle against cancer.
New evidence that a cure for cancer may come from this tree.
Is the devil real or just the stuff of horror movies and mythology? The story in Channel 7 News Inside Report.
Channel 7 News brought to you in part by your Dade Brower Mitsubishi Motors dealer, who invites you to take a test drive today.
Ever since Mitsubishi Motors began 75 years ago, the diamond has been used as the unbending guiding principle of Mitsubishi quality. The name Mitsubishi means 3 diamonds. Now, for its diamond anniversary, Mitsubishi proudly introduces the Diamante, a new luxury performance sedan that is brilliant in every facet. The new Diamante from Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
I just read something new. If your athlete's foot won't go away, you could have more than athlete's foot. You could also have a secondary yeast infection. That's right, yeast. It burns and itches just like athlete's foot. To solve this problem, you need Mycotin.
Only Mycotin cures both athlete's foot and secondary yeast infections with myconazole.
Oh, thanks. So why treat only half your problem?
Step up to the cure. Step up to the Mycotin. The airline that gives you London, with daily non-stop flights from Miami, now gives you another great European city, Madrid. With non-stop service beginning May 23rd. So fly the airline that gives you more to Europe. American Airlines. Something special to London and now Madrid.
On the next Golden Girls.
I'm the housekeeper. Yeah? You always wear a tiara to clean the toilet?
The new housekeeper is made to order.
Oh, Marguerite, I could kiss. And I don't go for that freaky stuff. Neither do Dorothy and I.
But she's got to clean up her act.
Girls, we can't buy her now. She's making me an aphrodisiac. Use vodka and black underwear like everyone else.
They've got it made on the next Golden Girls.
Tomorrow at 7 on WSVN 7.
Tonight, Michael Landon is saying he is upset. In fact, he's saying he's outraged about how the tabloids are now guessing how long he has to live. Tonight, his doctor is saying the very same thing. He, too, is outraged. Last month, Landon announced that he has cancer. Last week, he went on The Tonight Show to show everyone that, hey, he's doing okay despite this situation. Still, there has been a lot of speculation on how much time Landon actually has left. Speculation his doctor says is unwarranted.
Certainly, he has a very serious disease. He's told everyone that on national television. And at the same time, he's receiving cutting-edge, state-of-the-art treatments, which are designed to be more effective than what we have had in the past against that disease.
Some of the bizarre treatments the 54-year-old actor is getting include shots of fat bubbles with anti-cancer drugs inside. That's just one of the strange treatments. Doctors say it's never been done quite that way before.
By the year 2000, it's predicted that cancer will be the #1 killer, surpassing heart disease. That's according to a new report out just today. And breast cancer is among the cancers spreading the fastest. A new study finds it may have something to do with how much, believe this or not, how much sunshine women get. Marilyn Mitchell explains in tonight's HealthCast.
Reducing your risk of breast cancer may be as simple as taking a walk in the sunshine. For years, scientists have been trying to figure out why women who live in sunny climates have less breast cancer than women living in states with little sunshine. They may finally know why. Dr. Cedric Garland is among the research team which discovered that the sun is closely tied to a woman's chance of getting breast cancer. Part of their study involved measuring the sun's intensity in every state. When they compared it to breast cancer rates, they found
the rates of death from breast cancer in the United States were very high in the northern part and very low in the southern part.
The researchers concluded that's because the sun shines more often in the southern states. The sun produces vitamin D, which is believed to help prevent breast cancer.
Vitamin D is the common factor in places where breast cancer rates are low.
The lowest rates of breast cancer in the U.S. are in Arizona, New Mexico, southern Texas, and Florida, where the sun's ultraviolet rays are the most intense. Meanwhile, northern states, which have the least sunshine, have the highest breast cancer rates.
The answer is to get no more than 10 to 15 minutes a day of sun between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon without a sunscreen. After that, it's a good idea to cover up.
Doctors say 10 minutes is enough to get vitamin D without causing skin cancer. They believe females should start doing this at a very young age.
Young years are crucially important. It even means it's wise for girls to get outside more than they do, just to get out as a child and get some sunlight.
For women who don't get out in the sun, based on this new research, doctors suggest you get extra vitamin D by drinking 2 glasses of non-fat or low-fat milk. Fish is also rich in vitamin D, especially tuna and salmon. Meanwhile, the cure for cancer may come from a tree. The drug Taxol is made from the bark of the Pacific yew. Researchers found Taxol can melt away breast, ovarian, and lung tumors that resist other drugs. Unfortunately, the tree it's made from is scarce, and it takes 6 100-year-old trees to treat 1 patient. Researchers are trying to synthesize Taxol. Taking estrogen after menopause may reduce the risk of colon cancer. Millions of women take it to prevent hot flashes and bone loss. While estrogen has been linked to cancer, Harvard researchers were surprised to find it also has a protective factor. Nearly twice as much colon cancer was found among women who don't take it. Finally, coffee is back in the news. Drinking caffeine during the first 3 months of pregnancy may increase the risk of miscarriage. A study found a slight increased risk of miscarriage in women who drank more than 3 cups of coffee a day or 6 cans of caffeinated soda. The study also found that pregnant women who drank coffee suffered twice as much nausea. That's HealthCast. I'm Marilyn Mitzel, Channel 7 News.
Also in medical news tonight, this miraculous operation from Indonesia. Doctors have removed a horrible birth defect from a small child. The baby was born with a 3rd leg coming out of his knee. Well, a team of 16 surgeons worked on the boy for about 7 hours, and they did remove the leg, and now we're told that the baby is doing just fine. A health warning is out tonight for everyone who likes to eat shark meat, of all things. Florida Department of Agriculture says or at least don't eat too much shark meat, at least not right now. Unusually high levels of mercury are suddenly appearing in samples of shark meat. Much of it is caught right off of South Florida, where there is an abundance or perhaps even an overabundance of shark, as many of us know. Why this problem with the mercury? Well, they don't know. Doctors say you won't get sick or you won't die from eating the shark meat, but eating a lot of it over and over again can cause a lot of problems for you.
Still ahead, it's going to be a long night for South African activist Winnie Mandela.
A new crisis is striking Cuba. The story in tonight's headlines from Cuba.
And the U.S. military is moving in to save thousands of people in Bangladesh.
The muscles of the neck, back, and legs run in a vertical direction. So Infinity stitched the seats of the Q45 the same way, making it more comfortable and driving less fatiguing. At first, you may not notice the luxury of something as small as a stitch, but to Infinity, what's important is that somewhere down the road, you will.
Pure milk, fresh milk, smooth and wet, creamy, cool, luscious,
Sweet and dry,
blended by Dana. Blended, oh, in perfect harmony.
Finally, a creamy blended yogurt, as only Dannon can do it. No fat, no artificial anything, just pure Dannon.
Blended, oh, in perfect harmony.
New Dannon blended yogurt.
Thousands of babies could be saved every year if only they came with instructions. Please learn American Red Cross Infant and Child CPR.
An explosive verdict tonight for anti-apartheid activist Winnie Mandela. A South African judge has found her guilty of kidnapping 4 young men. They were allegedly beaten in her home as she watched. She's going to be sentenced tomorrow. Now, under South African law, Mandela could face anything from a suspended sentence to prison time. Her husband, Nelson Mandela, was just let out of prison a year ago.
Tonight we're following several headlines from Cuba. First of all, the water shortage problem inside Havana is now being called critical. Cuban officials say the lack of rain from 1983 to 1991 has brought about a drought on the island, and the areas being affected the worst are Central Havana and Old Havana, each with about 250,000 residents and each with antiquated plumbing systems. Officials say they are doing what they can to alleviate the problem, but so far they are not having much luck. Now, what is making this problem worse is residents are convinced in Havana the Castro government is rerouting their water for the benefit of athletes at the Pan American Games. Residents go as far as to say they can actually identify the pipe that's being used to redirect the water, but tonight the Castro government is denying that charge. Also tonight, the Coast Guard has rescued 4 more Cuban refugees who were trying to make their way to South Florida on a raft. 2 refugees were picked up by a passing ship. When the Coast Guard took them in, they told officials there were 2 more refugees who were with them, so the Coast Guard set out again, and sure enough, they found 2 more refugees. All the refugees were brought into Islamorada in the Florida Keys. Now, that means the number of Cuban refugees now rescued this year by the Coast Guard, almost 600 to be exact, 598.
Thousands of U.S. soldiers are ready to descend on Bangladesh. They're about to get involved in the battle against disease and starvation there. The country's been torn up by typhoons and tornadoes. The U.S. is flying in tons of food, medicine, and water. Altogether, about 12,000 U.S. troops, including some Persian Gulf War veterans, are going to be helping out. The Philippines can thank God and luck tonight. They've been spared a direct hit from a killer storm. Typhoon Walt is right now about 140 miles northeast of Manila. It's spinning wind gusts of more than 128 miles per hour. Walt's expected to miss the Philippines, but now Japan is keeping a close watch. That storm is heading their way tonight.
The United Nations is hoping the idea of home sweet home will finally get thousands of Kurdish refugees out of their hills. The UN broke beyond the Allied patrolled security zone today and took over the northern Iraqi town of Dahouk. They brought nearly 130 tons of food and supplies to that city, now a ghost town, we should say. They are hoping this first step will persuade the Kurds that it's okay to finally go back to their homes.
Still ahead, fire, brimstone, and the devil. Is there really such an evil out there? The story in a Channel 7 News Inside Report.
Also, the Magellan Space Probe is finding something out there. We'll show you next.
And I'm Bob Soper. Looks like you're going to put up with some afternoon and evening thunderstorms again tomorrow. The complete forecast is up next.
This week, Arsenio's staying up with some of the hottest folks in the business, like controversial cut-up Andrew Dice Clay, Fresh Prince Will Smith, smooth-sounding group After 7, outrageous lady Sandra Bernhard, and football star gone Hollywood Brian Bosworth. Plus, on Monday night, Grammy Award winner Steve Winwood will hit the stage with a hot new song. As you can see, big names are going to be here all this week, so stay up a little bit longer for the Arsenio Hall Show.
Tonight at 11 on WSVN 7.
Hey, everybody, let's go. We asked these experts on summer and Dad to help introduce the new Master Values program. Now get 10 to 25% off only with MasterCard. From cool things to pack for vacation at Montgomery Ward, to house paint at Sherwin-Williams, to a Sony Walkman at Woolworth, and lots more. Then watch the savings pile up. Look for Master Values only from MasterCard at these and other fine stores. And master the moment.
It's Winn-Dixie's half-price sale. County Line medium sharp cheddar or Monterey Jack cheese is now $1.09. Hormel ham patties were $1.98, now half price at 99 cents. In the deli, Butterball turkey bologna is half price at 99 cents a pound. And fresh macaroni salad is now half price at just 63 cents a pound. Winn-Dixie has cut prices in half on items store-wide. You won't believe the savings at the half-price sale going on now at Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket.
The only company in the air express business with 2 next-day delivery options is Federal Express. 10:30 a.m. if your package has to arrive early, or if it can get there just a little later in the day. We've got a brand new afternoon service that will deliver almost anything up to 150 pounds by 3 o'clock at a price that's tough to beat. Same great service, now twice a day. Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business. Twice a day.
Channel 7 News weather brought to you in part by McDonald's Restaurants of South Florida. Try the new 91% fat-free McLean Deluxe.
We had a few storms in Broward
Well,
today.
we sure did. Strong thunderstorms developed late this afternoon up around Coral Springs and caused a little bit of damage up there.
Oh, it did? I
Fortunately,
didn't
nobody
know
was
that.
hurt. Yeah, it knocked over some trees and a little bit of other damage up there, but not real bad, thank goodness. But we've got some much-needed rain. As a matter of fact, speaking of that, Lake Okeechobee's getting up.
Good.
Yeah,
Not
getting
a
closer to
problem
where it's
anymore.
supposed to be. Yeah, but it's still hot. We're starting summer early, aren't we? Take a look. 88 degrees our high, 84 is normal, 73 our low, 70 is normal. No rainfall officially today, but we do know Broward County in many sections got plenty of rain on the official rain gauge. So look at that now. We're almost a quarter of an inch below normal. I knew this was going to happen if we didn't start getting some rain. Take a look at color radar. Now, a lot of this over the inland section, this is false return from rain that fell earlier, causes a temperature inversion, traps radar waves. We're looking at the ground in here. But there are some showers up by, well, east of Fort Myers and offshore the Palm Beaches over by our friends in the west end of the Grand Bahamas. This stuff is all continuing to drift eastward. A couple of other showers just off the west end of Andros Island. Now, taking a look at some temperatures today, 89 degrees on the west coast at Fort Myers, 87 in Naples. Also down in the Keys, throughout the Keys, 84 degrees on the beaches, 87 in Hollywood, 84 in Lauderdale, 91 degrees in West Kendall today, and 93 in Homestead, 84 in Fort Lauderdale officially. Tonight, still a few scattered thunderstorms over the northern part of the state for us. Obviously, it's offshore. 60s to around 70, northern two-thirds of the state. In the 70s for South Florida, closer to about 70 to 71 in our neck of the woods. Temperatures in the 80s and 90s throughout the state again tomorrow. Pretty, practically speaking, no chance of rain in the Panhandle, but the peninsula will continue to pick up rain and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. Now, across the nation, a couple of things blossoming here. This area, right around Missouri and Kansas, they had some golf ball-sized hail there. Out in West Texas, they had some blossoming thunderstorms. And up in the Northeast, they had golf ball-sized hail at Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. This whole mess is just exactly what it's going to be over the next couple of days. Going to continue. And it also has caused some record highs to be reported. 89 degrees in Chicago, Wichita, Kansas, 90 degrees at Houston. 2 inches of rain an hour in parts of eastern Kansas into western Missouri with that golf ball-sized hail. And down in Louisiana, they're still fighting the floodwaters around New Orleans. Just one of many parts of Louisiana still under those floodwaters. Thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes. It's nearly impossible to get around to see this guy on the motorcycle. I don't think I'd be doing that, but they say once in a while that when you get those big floodwaters in Louisiana, you also get the snakes out there, and they'd like for you to support their levee. They got to build it a little higher, I guess. 83 at Portland, record high. 86 at Albany, New York. 82 at Buffalo. 90 degrees at Williamsport, Pennsylvania. 91 at Baltimore. Out around Houghton Lake, 86 degrees in Michigan. 86 as well at Cleveland. 89 Toledo. 84 at Elkins. 82 at Buffalo. Quick look around the nation. Man, I'm telling you what, find a place that's dry and go settle there briefly, because that's the West Coast is going to be the driest spot. There'll be some snow in the mountains. Here's a look at our local forecast for tonight. Just those evening showers, pretty much count them out now. It's going to be mostly fair throughout the rest of tonight. Lows are going to drop down to about 69 inland, around 73 on the beaches. Then tomorrow, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds and afternoon rain and thunderstorms. Widely scattered stuff. High temperatures 86 to 90. Boaters, winds out of the south to southwest at 10 knots, seas 2 feet. Bay waters a light chop. The next low tide at 2:46 in the morning. The high tide at 8:43 in the morning. Sunrise at 6:36 and sunset at 7:59. So we're almost trying to get in the doldrums already. It's ridiculous.
Impossible.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a break. We'll cross your fingers.
Something will happen tomorrow.
You
Thank
got
you,
it.
Bob. Rick.
Well, tonight we know more about the planet Venus than even Bob Soper knows about the planet Venus, and he knows a lot, folks. See, that's because the Magellan Space Probe has finished its primary mission of mapping Venus. The unmanned robotic craft has been sending radar images to Earth. The pictures show Venus is filled with active volcanoes and craters. Bob could have told us this. Some of those craters are the deepest ever found in the entire solar system. Isn't that a hoot?
It's amazing. It's incredible pictures. Still ahead.
Yes.
A demon is exorcised from a South Florida girl on national television.
But does the devil really exist? Stay tuned for a Channel 7 News Inside Report.
Yo, from our home studio, it's Ricky and D. Now, my man, Rick, a serious burger lover, is doing a blind taste test of McDonald's new McLean Deluxe sandwich. Yo, man, the taste is going on. McDonald's is the only one with this 91% fat-free lean beef
Wait,
fat.
hold up, 91% fat-free? No, man.
Straight up.
The taste is kicking.
And it's a serious value. The new McLean Deluxe.
100% down.
On taste.
On taste. Word up.
McDonald's today.
If you order a suit designed around the way you're built, you have to wait about 2 months. If you want a house designed around the way you live, the wait is 2 years. But if what you desire is a car designed around the way you drive, you don't have to wait another day. The 1991 Acura Legend Coupe. Thanks to special lease rates, getting into a Legend Coupe or Legend Sedan has never been easier.
Not long ago, these women would have shied away from these hugs. You would too if you were wearing a diaper. But today, Johnson & Johnson brings you the breakthrough. Serenity Guards. Bladder control protection so advanced you'll never need anything bulky again. Serenity holds as much as something 5 times its size, locking liquid into a gel that won't leak. That's proven protection. So give yourself a hug for discovering Serenity from Johnson & Johnson.
The mysterious death of a lowly cadet.
Ham's death is to be reported as an accident.
Triggers a scandalous cover-up by the military elite.
You know what happened? Could just about happen to any one of us.
Now, one man.
Why do you want to rock this boat?
Risks everything.
He thinks I'm the one that killed your son.
To uncover the truth.
Thrown to the wolves is what we do.
In the spectacular conclusion of Dress Gray.
The conclusion of Dress Gray. Tomorrow on the WSVN 7 movie at 8.
There may be evil among us, but is it man's evil inclination or the devil inside? A few weeks ago, millions of Americans watched an exorcism on television, and it seemed to confirm the power of demonic possession inside the body of a little South Florida girl. The very idea is fascinating and frightening. Now some are calling that possession fiction. Rochelle Bridges is here with the beginning of her inside report, The Devil.
Sally, the idea of casting out demons is biblically based, but questions about theatrics in the 2020 exorcism has caused a firestorm within the Catholic Church. It's also stirred up an age-old debate. Does the devil actually exist? And can he possess a person, body and soul?
In here, do you believe that Satan exists?
No, not as a person. I think that there is something out there.
Something, perhaps, that's a combination of scripture, myth, and man-made imaginings. We know him by many names, many different faces. Lucifer belongs to me. Satan, an ally. Beelzebub,
I sit alone.
the devil.
It's scriptural. It's the age-old concept between good and evil.
People do bad things and they invent a cause for it. They invent a demon.
If the flip side of good is evil, the opposite of light, darkness, then if you believe in God, shouldn't you also believe in the devil? A Gallup poll survey asked Americans, and 3 out of 5 of them believe that the devil exists and believe he lives in a dark, dank, hellfire place.
I command the spirit of evil to leave now.
We don't want to leave.
Millions of people watched on TV as Catholic priests tried to pray the devil out of a Wellington, Florida girl. But was she really possessed?
I think it's quite certain that she wasn't.
Was not.
Was not.
Father Tom Birmingham is an expert on exorcism. He was the chief consultant on the film The Exorcist. The Catholic Church has identified certain things that must be present in the truly possessed.
The knowledge of the secret sins of another, this sort of knowledge. Clearly suprahuman strengths.
In the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever.
The strength to make things move, to know the unspoken, speaking in a foreign tongue. Father Birmingham says he didn't see it in the Florida case.
she was a mentally disturbed person. So that this was a total misrepresentation.
Father Birmingham ought to know. The horrors we saw in The Exorcist are a combination of what the father has seen firsthand.
What you do have in the case is that terrible contortions of the face and the tongue and the mouth and hatred coming out of the eyes of the person. I don't recall ever reading about it being a serpent's tongue, but you will have spitting and vomiting and all kinds of expression of hatred of one kind or another.
Head spinning is not real, but the idea that the devil will enter the body of an innocent child is.
The whole purpose of possession is to move into an area where there has been great love, which has turned into deep hatred, and to further that hatred, and anger at God even for letting this happen.
The Catholics call it exorcism of the devil. The Protestants call it deliverance from demons. Southern Baptist preacher Billy Baskin says he's delivered a possessed woman, a woman screeching vulgarities.
Her voice changed, very grotesque. And for the first time in my life, I saw lips working in reverse. You ever seen anybody talk with the lips, instead of when you talk, your mouth opened like this? Her lips were going in as she talked. Satan is not like God everywhere at all times. He's omnipresent. So he has to release his demons to do his work in places where he is not.
The Catholics call it exorcism. Protestants call it deliverance. Many people we talk to believe the evil among us can indeed get inside of us, and that only a special prayer can get it out. Tomorrow, in part 2 of our series, we will talk to people who are not afraid of the devil, who in fact worship the devil.
Now that is scary as well. All right, thank you, Rochelle. We'll look forward to seeing that. Rick.
Now, something else that's scary tonight. We understand there was a shooting in Opelika. Brooke Bradley's on top of that story for us. Brooke, what do you know?
Well, Rick, a shooting of a young child. It was here at this Burger King in Opelika just a few minutes ago that a young child was shot, apparently during a shootout between Opelika police and 3 or 4 drug suspects. We were told that the child was sitting in the red van that you just saw a second ago. He was sitting there apparently with his parents, an innocent victim, during a major shootout after a high-speed chase that wrapped up after Opelika police ended up chasing these 3 drug suspects in a Ford Bronco. Now, the high-speed chase ended up at State Road 9 and Northwest 22nd Avenue in Opelika with 3 suspects in custody. Bullets, we are told, were flying everywhere. And at one point, the chase went through the Burger King parking lot here at Northwest 137th Street and 27th Avenue. Now, it was then, we are told, that the child sitting in the van was grazed by a bullet. We don't know if that bullet was from the suspects or from police. Police, frankly, aren't telling us much of anything at this point. They are still investigating, and they say that they will have some more information for us, hopefully, at the end of the newscast. What I can tell you, though, is that the child is apparently in good condition at Jackson Memorial Hospital. We are also told that there may be one other suspect on the loose somewhere, and that he, too, may have sustained a gunshot wound. Rick?
Sounds like a wild story. Now, Brooke, again, that child is an innocent victim, correct?
As far as we know, yes. We have no reason yet to believe that the car that he was in was involved in this police shootout or involved in the high-speed chase in any way. But again, we will be getting more information in, and we'll get back to you.
All right, Brooke Bradley on top of that scene for us in Opelika, and as soon as we do hear that she has more information, we will certainly go back to her. Sally?
Coming up, a sneak preview of some of the pomp and circumstance we're going to see this week when the Queen comes to town.
But first, three generations of sports announcers all at one game.
And a Miami Heat star gets even hotter as a daytime TV star. Jim Barry has it all next.
Something Italian's been added to the buffet court. Sizzler. For a limited time, you can create an Italian feast.
Pizza, spaghetti, and meatballs.
Antipasto salad lasagna.
It's the Leaning Tower of Pizza.
You'll find the exciting new Italian bar, along with hot appetizers and desserts, at the buffet court.
this is an offer I can't refuse.
One radio station really is different. South Florida's Coast, 97.3 FM. Only the best of the 70s, 80s, and today. All in 25-minute sets, and no talking over the music, ever.
Words get in the way. Tonight. This is the song.
No contests, no silly DJ chatter, and Coast always tells you the songs they play. Turn on South Florida's Coast, 97.3 FM. You'll love the difference.
This week, Arsenio's staying up with some of the hottest folks in the business, like controversial cut-up Andrew Dice Clay, Fresh Prince Will Smith, smooth-sounding group After 7, outrageous lady Sandra Bernhardt, and football star gone Hollywood Brian Bosworth. Plus, on Monday night, Grammy Award winner Steve Winwood will hit the stage with a hot new song. As you can see, big names are going to be here all this week, so stay up a little bit longer for the Arsenio Hall Show.
Tonight at 11 on WSVN 7.
On the next Golden Girls.
I'm the housekeeper. Yeah? You always wear a tiara to clean the toilet?
The new housekeeper is made to order.
Oh, Marguerite, I could kiss you. And I don't go for that freaky stuff. Neither do Dorothy and I.
But she's got to clean up her act.
Well, if we can't find her now, she's making me an aphrodisiac. Use vodka and black underwear like everyone else.
They've got it made on the next Golden Girls.
Tomorrow at 7 on WSVN 7.
Jim Barry joining us now, talking about all kinds of things, but we need to talk about sports. So go.
Basketball, aging giants. The Detroit Pistons want to three-peat, so they couldn't afford to repeat their last performance against the Celtics. They didn't, and so this battle of aging giants is all even. Dennis Rodman cheesing for the cameras after winning Defensive Player of the Year again. Then he goes out and shows why. Watch him eat this shot by Kevin Gamble. And Isaiah wanted to come in after that. He couldn't, though, because his ankle is still too puffy. So Mark Aguirre picked up the scoring slack. There he hits 1-3 between the legs for another. And here's Mark again down in the blocks, faking and shaking for a three-point play. Aguirre pours in 34. They go back to Beantown even at 2 games apiece. Well, I always thought they broke the mold when they made baseball announcer Harry Carey. In Chicago tonight, though, I was proved wrong.
Major League Baseball announcer. And I'm Skip Carey, Major League Baseball announcer.
And I'm Harry Carey, Major League Baseball announcer.
Will the real Major League Broadcasting Carey please stand up?
Well, Harry, his son, and grandson all stood. An unprecedented sportscasting moment. As for the game, the Braves show why they're the surprise team of baseball. Terry Pendleton, so glad to be out of St. Louis. He hits a home run for the Braves against the Cubs. Atlanta's in first place, if you can believe that. They put the Cubs under the lights at Wrigley as that pitcher looks stunned. In the National League, the Reds and the Cards in a pitcher's duel in the 8th. In New York, a tough night for one Jose Canseco. The A's slugger smacks one that ought to be a hit. Look at this rocket. But there's the Yanks' Hensley Newlands with a diving catch. Jose had an even rougher time with an obstinate Yankee fan, but Canseco wins this World Words when they tell the fan to get up and excuse himself. He must have said something to Jose about hanging out with Madonna. As for the game, the Yanks knock off the A's again, 6-3. In the AL, the White Sox shutting out the Red Sox. California and Cleveland tied in the 6th. Toronto has beaten KC. Nolan Ryan is shutting out the Tigers in the 6th. We should learn in a month whether we get a big league expansion team, but for now, all we can do is speculate, which brings us to the stat of the night. The movie was Field of Dreams. What we've got right now are a field of rumors. The hottest one says we get a team along with Denver, but how about these additional doozies? There's a published report saying that the Expos will go to Buffalo, and there's word that 4 existing teams, Pittsburgh, Houston, Seattle, and Cleveland, are in trouble and could be had if the price is right. I can't wait for next month because it's time to end all of this guesswork. Like it or not, the Miami Baseball Hurricanes will be road warriors in a couple of weeks. Regional sites picked today for the NCAA tournament, and Marklight Stadium is not on the list. And UM's baseball boss is not happy.
I'm really disappointed that we didn't play here. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Nothing's going to change, so there's no use talking about it. And everything to do now is just get ready, prepare to play on the road.
They'll do just fine. Canes figure to head to Tallahassee or Gainesville, both of which have been awarded regionals. UM and FIU learn their baseball destinations next week. And finally, I hear that Ronnie Cycli is engaged. I saw that today he was on Oprah. I hear now that Ronnie is in trouble. Ronnie was one of 6 hunk athletes on Oprah playing a dating game with some soap opera starlets. And here was the burning question.
I can't
can't wait for these winning streaks to, you know, come and go and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if I would have a problem with you. Troy?
We were 1-15 my rookie year with the Cowboys. I don't have time to wait for a winning streak either.
Best answer of the show. Ronnie Cycli could answer that. The Heat had a 17-game losing streak at one time, so he can't wait for him either.
Hey, you mentioned something about Jose Canseco. Now, he spent 3 hours at Madonna's apartment after the game last night.
Supposedly just platonic. They were just talking niceties.
They're just friends.
That's
but now
what Jose
Jose's
said.
wife doesn't know about this.
Well, she does now.
Okay, Jim Barry. Well, on the subject of Madonna, tell him, Sally.
She is telling all in black and white.
And Deborah Norville will be heard once again, but not seen. We'll be back.
So many families now love Quaker Oat squares. Think how a flake feels. You okay?
Oh, I'm so flat and frail, not square like you.
Quaker Oat squares are more than just square. We're toasted whole grain oats sprinkled with brown sugar.
You're sprinkled. I'm wrinkled.
And Quaker Oat squares stay crunchy in milk. Come on in.
You can't. Once milk touches me, I'm a soggy sight.
I'll try not to splash. Quaker Oat squares. You'll love them from Square One.
They say you can't please everybody. But isn't it nice to know that certain roads and certain cars won't stop trying? The 1991 Acura Integra.
Experience the excitement and thrills of Universal Studios Florida by watching the WSVN Magic Movies in May. Watch the movie at 8 on WSVN 7. Then listen to Sunny in the Morning on Magic 102.7. You can win a trip on U.S. Air with accommodations at the Twin Towers Hotel to Universal Studios Florida, featuring their new attraction, Back to the Future.
Who's back?
The WSVN Magic Movies in May.
We don't just take you to the stars. We'll make you one.
There are people in this community who have no place to live. But there's a group called Habitat for Humanity that helps. They're coming to Liberty City.
I'm Rick Sanchez, and we're going to be on this very site Tuesday, June 18th, along with former President Jimmy Carter. We are going to be building 14 homes in just 7 days. Can't do it without your help, though. We need skilled laborers, plumbers, electricians, anyone who can lend a hand. We're committed. How about you?
Call the Habitat for Humanity office and join the labor of love in Liberty City.
Topping our People news tonight, she's hot, sexy, and always controversial. And with the new movie opening Friday, Madonna has a lot to talk about. The Material Girl showed up on the Regis and Kathy Lee show today, getting the star treatment. She talked about her movie, love life, and her date with Michael Jackson at the Oscars.
Wears sunglasses, and of course he complies because I'm stronger than he is.
That's right.
And then we exchange powder puffs.
So you both look wonderful.
We both powder our noses and we compare bank accounts.
Now, Madonna's bank account is sure to reach new heights with Truth or Dare. You can catch the rest of her interview tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock right here on Channel 7.
Well, it looks like early retirement just isn't in the cards for Deborah Norville. The former co-host of the Today Show is getting back into broadcasting, not on television. No, she's going to be on radio from now on. Norville is replacing Sally Jesse Raphael on a national talk show. This time it's a friendly takeover. Sally and Deborah will co-host the radio show next week. Norville will do solo by the fall. Same person, incidentally, who said she was leaving television to become a full-time mother just 1 month ago.
Well, she can always change her mind.
I guess she did.
Still ahead, the Queen of England is about to get the royal treatment right here in South Florida.
But what do the Brits think about her? That story. You're watching South Florida's news station.
You can't yell at me because... Can I use that, please?
No matter what happens with the stock market, no matter which way interest rates go, there will always be the first day of school.
Really is the worst.
And people will always need a place to get ready for it.
When you return them to me, I want them back.
That's why home loans are one of the safest investments an institution can make.
Headband.
And that's where Savings of America has put its depositors' money for more than 100 years.
No way. You get away with that, and I get away with this.
At Eckerd Express Photo, your prints look so good because our people are so darn good. Our expert lab managers inspect each negative for color and make sure each print meets Kodak Color Watch standards. Each photo technician is specially trained, so you always get the best possible prints. And everyone is knowledgeable and able to assist you with any problem. But the most amazing thing, you still get your prints in just an hour.
Eckerd Express 1 hour photo for pictures too important to wait.
Hey, mister, shine your head for a quarter?
If I owned a car company, first I'd snag the biggest office. Then build myself a sports sedan. I'd make the body aerodynamic. Like even the door handles would be cool. Then I'd give it a 16-valve engine. And just to cheese off the other car companies, I'd make my sports sedan affordable. Because I'm tired of the rich guys having all the fun.
Presenting the 1991 Nissan Sentra, the first affordable sports sedan.
You want dirt? We got dirt.
On the next Joan Rivers, step inside the private lives of Madonna and Michael Jackson.
You know what? You're going to be the last one to know.
Catch all the latest gossip on Madonna and Michael Mania.
The dish, the scoop, the dirt.
What about their love lives?
He loves me. Loves me not.
Plus, Joan's own Madonna movie outtakes you can't see anywhere else. Next Joan Rivers.
The Joan Rivers Show, tomorrow at 10 on WSVN 7.
Let's check in with Bob Soper and see if we can expect rain or shine in the morning. How about it, Bob?
Sadly for the morning, it looks pretty dry, but once you get into that afternoon, be ready to duck a couple of thunderstorms and quite a few areas of rain. So we're looking at a mixture of sun and clouds tomorrow. Best chance of rain will be in the afternoon, lasting possibly into the evening. Overnight low 69 inland, 73 on the beaches. High temperatures go 86 to 90. Now, if you want to take your boat out, winds will be out of the south to southwest at 10 knots. Seas 2 feet. Bay waters light chop for Dayton. Broward waters out to the Bahamas. From Key Largo on out to the Dry Tortugas, winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 knots, seas 1 to 2 feet, and bay waters smooth. Looking ahead, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there'll be some afternoon rain just about any of these 3 days. 70s in the morning and close to 90 in the afternoon. And don't forget, you can call that Mariners line on your Cellular One phone, call *77, or if you're at home, you can call 933-WSVN. Get the latest Mariners forecast and tides information, find out what's biting, the whole thing, Sal.
Gotta know what's biting.
Gotta know.
Thank you, Bob. Rick.
Coming up tomorrow morning on Today in Florida, the very latest overnight developments on all of the major stories, including the one in Opelika we were telling you about a shooting involving a child. Also, we'll show you how one man is turning a smelly business into the sweet smell of success. And are the glory days of the ritzy private rail cars returning. Those stories and a whole lot more right here on Today in Florida, beginning at 6 a.m.
As we told you earlier in this newscast, the Queen of England will arrive in South Florida this Friday. She's going to be in Washington tomorrow. And with the big day approaching, we wondered what the Queen's subjects really think of the royal family. We decided to go straight to the Queen's home turf to find out. We sent senior reporter Mark Lubner to London. And in his reports beginning tomorrow night, Mark is going to show us if the Brits are as crazy about their royal family as we are. Here's Mark's preview of his special series.
We've come to London to see the Queen, or at least try to. From all over the world, they come to try to glimpse the woman who's been playing the palace since 1952.
And Queen Elizabeth II was escorted by the bishops and lords and seated on her throne.
American audiences have thrilled to the story of Queen Elizabeth II, QE2, ever since she got the job. And millions of Englishmen worship royalty. But many of the Queen's subjects, the ones who keep reading about the royal family's soap opera private lives, the ones who foot the bill for Windsor Castle and 4 other royal castles, are less than enamored of the folks they call the royals.
Myself, personally, I don't agree with the royal family. I don't see we need them, really.
Well, I think she's important. I think the royal family is important, but then I'm English, so I'm biased.
If it's true that there will always be an England, is it necessarily true that there will always be a Queen or King of England? Tomorrow night, we'll look at the royal mystique and whether it's on the decline. Then we'll try to get a handle on just how rich, how royally flush QE2 and the others are, and what the Brit in the street makes of the fact that she pays no income taxes. And on the eve of her arrival in South Florida, we'll take a close-up look at the woman under the fancy headgear, the woman who has sat on the British throne longer than all but 4 of her ancestors. Mark Lunder, Channel 7 News, London.
Well, Mark's special reports begin tomorrow night at 5 o'clock and at 10. Also this week, we are going to follow the Queen's U.S. visit step by step with live reports beginning tomorrow with Washington correspondent Tom Cole, who is going to be live at the White House.
But for right now, that's it for Channel 7 News at 10 o'clock. Thank you so very much for joining all of us here. I'm Rick Sanchez.
And I'm Sally Fitz. We're going to see you again tomorrow night. Good night.
Channel 7 News brought to you in part by American Express Traveler's Checks. Don't leave home without them. And by DHL, faster to more of the world.